Hello students, happy snow day. I hope you guys are staying warm and safe. I'm going to explain today's lesson to you. So you can get to it two ways. You can click here, but I definitely suggest looking at the instructions page before you do anything. So let's check out today's instructions. Awesome. So on Friday, hopefully you submitted the following. So I have different due dates for these assignments, but on Friday, your conclusion paragraph and your final draft of your compare and contrast essay was due, and that was for a test grade. So if you did not submit that, I need you to do that as soon as possible. I also messaged you on Canvas, so please make sure that you've submitted your final draft. If you didn't get the grade that you've liked, you can always look at my comments, revise, resubmit for an improved grade. So that was on last class Friday. Today you're watching this video, hopefully explaining today's lesson. You're going to focus on brainstorming topics for your personal narrative. So if you remember a few weeks ago, I showed you my personal narrative that I wrote about the time that I went skydiving, and you're going to choose from one of the 9 options from this narrative choice board to write about. Once you've chosen a topic that you're going to write about this week for your narrative, you're going to complete this brainstorming and character analysis assignment, okay? So let's check out the options. So if you click here, it'll take you to the options. It's a little slow, I guess. We'll just give it a second. See if it's quicker if I download it. It is. Okay. So these are the 9 options. There's one I'm going to steer you away from just because I don't think it will be the best for this project, but let's read them. So now that we have a basic understanding of what a narrative includes, we've read mine, we've read narratives from many different authors. Now you're going to write your own by selecting a topic from this choice board. Okay. So it states, Mark Twain, noted American author, once said, there comes a time in every rightly constructed boy's life that he has a raging desire to go somewhere and dig for hidden treasure. So you're going to, if you choose this option, write about a memorable childhood adventure that you had. For this, A. Milne, an author best known for his books about the lovable teddy bear Winnie the Pooh, wrote, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. For this, you're going to write about an experience you've had that at the time may have seemed insignificant or unimportant, but has since held a special place in your heart. Next, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt once said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. If you choose this option, you're going to write about a time that you gained strength and confidence from accomplishing something you originally thought you couldn't do. Next, John Muir, a naturalist and author, said, in every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. What specific place holds a special place in your heart and why? Again, you're going to tell me a story about something that happened in that place. Next, one of the most famous characters in literature, Atticus Finch, noted, he's from To Kill a Mockingbird. Courage is knowing you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway, and you see it through no matter what. You rarely win, but sometimes you do. If you choose this option, you're going to write about a particular time you had to demonstrate bravery and courage. Next, Clarence, the lovable character in the classic film It's a Wonderful Life, said, strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? If you choose this option, you're writing about someone who has deeply touched your life. It could be someone close to you or someone you barely know who has a profound impact on you. And you're going to tell me about how this person has impacted your life. This is the one I would like you to not pick, so I'm not going to read it. I don't want you guys to pick this Albert Einstein quoted one because I don't think it will best fit the needs of the lesson, what we're going to do with this, so we'll skip this one. Many great stories follow a simple formula, a person, a place, or a problem. Use this formula to describe a problem you or someone you know has experienced. How is it solved, if at all? And then lastly, you can't help but become a storyteller when you travel. Write about a unique experience that occurred because you were traveling. Something that maybe whatever you write about is something that wouldn't have happened if you had stayed home. So these are your options. Again, you really have 8 to choose from because we're not picking this one. Once you've picked what topic you'd like to write about, you're going to go back to the instructions page and you're going to complete this personal narrative and brainstorming analysis assignment. Today is the only day you're going to have to work on this assignment, and then on Thursday and Friday, ads are lovely. On Thursday and Friday, you are going to be writing. So again, highlight here the topic you chose. So for example, if I wrote about this, I would highlight it with PDF markup as the topic that I chose. Next, I'm going to explain that topic in detail. So for example, if I chose this one to highlight, write about an experience you've had at a time you may have seemed insignificant, or the experience may have seemed unimportant, but held a place in your heart. Maybe I decide to write about a time where my friend helped me, and at the time I didn't seem like that was very important for maybe my friend to help me or stick up for me, but it showed me really what friendship is, right? So that's what I would kind of say here. So in a few sentences, explain your topic in more detail. Next, you're going to type me a sentence of when and where the story takes place. So what's the setting of my story? And then again, what characters are in my story with you. So you've seen me do this already in my personal narrative that I wrote. So if I was writing this again about my skydiving experience, I would write about my setting and the characters who are in my story with me. Next, plot development and adding imagery. So now I want you to think, okay, what's the first event that's going to take place in my story? So for me, if we're using my skydiving story as an example still, I could say the first event that takes place is us driving there, right? Me and my family and I driving to Skydive Chicago. So that could be my first event. And then I could write about the emotions I felt or any kind of reactions that I want to share. So maybe I felt nervous, maybe it didn't hit me yet because we're not at the building yet. And then I want you to brainstorm some things that you could hear, smell, taste, or touch, because in our writing, for it to truly come alive, we have to use some form of imagery. So you're going to do that for each box. You're going to tell me what the event takes place, and then if you notice, it's going to follow a plot diagram, right? We have our exposition here, the rising action, the most exciting part of the climax of your story, the falling action, and then the resolution or the ending. So you're planning out the 5 events that will shape your story, how you felt, or what kind of reaction you want to share maybe from another character, and then what imagery you encountered in that event. So just brainstorm ahead of time. Next, you're going to choose a character from your personal narrative. It can be yourself. If you, are putting yourself as a character, obviously in your story, it can be yourself, or you can choose another character. So you're going to tell me who your character is that you've chosen. What is the conflict or problem in your personal narrative? So tell me what the conflict is going to be. Again, for my example, my conflict was that I was very nervous to go skydiving for the first time, and I almost didn't want to do it, but I knew it was something I needed to do for me to feel like an adult. And then you're going to tell me if this conflict is internal or external. So for example, my conflict would be internal because in my skydiving example, I'm struggling with my own battle, my battle with myself of should I do this, shouldn't I do it? Some students said though that there could be external conflict maybe with the weather. So yes, that could be an external conflict, a force of nature maybe. So maybe like in your story, there was a storm. Maybe your conflict is against societal norms. So maybe, as a girl, you wanted to play a sport that was seen as a more masculine sport. That could be an external conflict of society. You could have a conflict against another character, and it doesn't have to be like an actual physical fight, right? It could be maybe you're in a verbal argument, or maybe you're struggling with yourself. Somehow that's going to be your internal conflict. And then the last step of this assignment, make an inference or an educated guess. What are the character's thoughts concerning this conflict? So again, I'm just looking for effort like every assignment. When I look at this, I don't want it to be mainly empty. I want to know that you really thought about this and that you're putting forth your best effort. If you have any questions about this assignment, please let me know. Again, this PDF is what you're going to submit your completed PDF at the end of the day today. So good luck. I can't wait to see what you guys choose to write about. I can't wait to read your assignments today. And as always, please reach out if you have questions. Stay safe and warm, and I will see you guys in another video tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Have a great snow day, or e-learning day, rather.